Германских гестапо, СС приезжают в Советский Союз учиться, как строить концлагеря. Посещали концлагеря, как это нужно, как огораживать, как ставить.
The Soviet officers, in turn, went to Nazi-occupied Krakow to meet with their SS colleagues. The Jewish question was high on the meeting's agenda. Soviet officials coordinated the deportation of Jews personally with the SS Brigadeführer Otto Wächter, one of the masterminds of the Holocaust. He moved the Jews to the Krakow ghetto and later arranged their extermination in gas chambers. The fact that the Soviets collaborated with the SS is not denied by Russia anymore. What is still denied is that this collaboration was based on a written agreement.
На немецком языке, да?
Открой, пожалуйста.
Вот подпись Берии. Это на немецком языке, да? Волмахт, что-то. Совершенно секрет. Перевод с немецкого языка. Рейхсфюрер СС, начальник Главного управления безопасности. Берлин, 3 ноября 1938 года. На основании этой доверенности мой представитель штандартенфюрер СС Генрих Мюллер имеет поручение подписать в Москве с руководством органов безопасности Советского Союза соглашение о совместной деятельности между НКВД и Генеральным управлением безопасности Германии, на которое мы возлагаем большие надежды, подчеркнуто 2 раза рукой Берии, связанные с укреплением мира и безопасности между нашими странами. Группенфюрер СС Гейдрих, подпись. Мамулов. Мамулов, да?
Мамулов это
да.
самое.
Здесь приобщите к основному документу Лаврентий Берия. Подпись личная.
This document was smuggled out of the presidential archive in Moscow by one of its workers. It was shown on Russian television. Later, this footage disappeared from the TV archive.
Ты хотя бы почитай, что внутри.
Я сейчас нам показать.
Ну вот давай обсуждать, потому что эта страна должна знать, потому что это геноцид. То есть 20 миллионов жизней отдали за то...
Unlike the official Kremlin, the former Soviet officials who had access to the Central Committee, now Presidential Archive, affirm the existence of such an agreement. Vladimir Karpov, former military intelligence colonel, 2 times hero of the Soviet Union, member of the Central Committee, the top Soviet Leadership Council.
Convoys bringing in the entire Politburo and party bosses from every corner of the country. This man, Vladimir Karpov, says that so many problems had now mounted up that the way things were run had to be changed.
We spoke with Mr. Karpov in his Moscow apartment in Kutuzovsky Prospect 26, the house of the former KGB chief Andropov and the Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev.
Был заключен тайный договор между КГБ и НКВД, тогда называлось НКВД, и Гестапо о сотрудничестве. Тоже меня, значит, обвинили, что это чепуха, и такого не могло быть. Мы интернационалисты, мы не могли, значит, заключить такой договор.
Вот это совершенно противоречие между тем, что сталинский режим – преступный режим, а во внешнеполитической области вроде и неприступный. Понимаете, тут, если он преступный режим, он во всех областях действует преступно, в том числе и во внешнеполитической. И это надо признать раз и навсегда.
But Moscow does not accept it. It does not accept the criminal nature of the Soviet regime. Any documents revealing it are usually declared fake, like the secret protocol dividing Europe. Interestingly, in this case, the Kremlin's denial is supported by one Western historian, David Irving, more famous for his denial of the Holocaust. But why would he deny the authenticity of this agreement? We can only guess. A quote from the document.
Органы НКВД возлагают на себя обязательство предложить советскому правительству программу по отстранению лиц еврейской национальности от органов власти, о запрещении использовать евреев и лиц, происшедших от браков с евреями в области культуры и образования. Вот подписи. Начальник Главного управления государственной безопасности Народного комиссариата Берия и представитель начальника Главного управления безопасности Германии штандартенфюрер СС Мюллер. Вот его подписи, вот печать.
sounds quite shocking. But what is more shocking is that in today's Russia, these actions of Stalin are still being justified at the highest level. The former defense minister of Russia, Igor Rodionov.
Это была война, настоящая война. Это была война с еврейским фашизмом внутри государства.
Rodionov is just one of many in Russia today who believe that helping Hitler to fight Jews in the 1930s was actually a noble fight against fascism. Jewish fascism, as it is now called in Russia. In 1939, Stalin sacked his longtime foreign minister, Litvinov.
Дело в том, что Литвинов действительно был по причине своей еврейской национальности, крайне неподходящим для подписания любого пакта с Германией.
And Litvinov was removed. The Soviet Foreign Ministry was surrounded by NKVD troops, tanks, and Stalin gave the order, clear out the synagogue, which is not a very nice thing to say. You would expect this from Hitler, but Stalin equally was capable of such prejudice.
The exiled communist leader Lev Trotsky warned the world about Stalin's anti-Semitism and about the fact that Stalin and Hitler were colluding.
Stalin's police, the GPU, has fallen to the level of the Nazi Gestapo.
His outspokenness was becoming dangerous to the Kremlin. Trotsky was aware that his every speech could be the last. He knew that Stalin was after him. But even in his worst dreams, he could not imagine that his death will be so agonizing. Stalin sent a secret agent to Mexico. He glided into Trotsky's house and smashed him in the head with an alpine axe. Trotsky fought for his life for 2 days and then died in horrible pain. In Stalin's time, critics of the Kremlin were not argued with. They were killed. The Soviet Union, like Nazi Germany, did not just commit criminal acts. It was a criminal enterprise in its very essence. To become a member of Stalin's Politburo, one had to take responsibility for murder. To be trusted, like in a criminal gang. Stalin rarely signed execution orders alone. The other Politburo members also had to put their signatures on the death lists. Even those who later condemned Stalin were responsible for mass murder themselves. Comrades were united by common crimes. There was no way back for them, but to commit new crimes. In March 1940, in a forest near Katyn village, 8 huge pits were dug. Heavy trucks brought in people. They were Polish army reservists, doctors, engineers, teachers. They were ordered to get out. No one was supposed to see what happened next, but the noise of trucks deep in the forest seemed unusual to the forester.
He was locked in for 25 years, incommunicado, under a false name. They could have killed him for some reason, they didn't. I don't know why. So they just kept him in jail, and that's very well known, documented fact.
What did he see?
He saw NKVD shooting them. A big hole, and NKVD shooting through the back of the neck. Each of them, the people were tied up with hands behind, on their knees, on the edge of that hole. Shot and kicked into the hole.
Политбюро ЦК ВКПБ приняло решение всех этих военнопленных из этих 3